If you love DIY projects, enjoy good fishing gear, but don't want to pay for it, then this video is definitely for you. Hey guys, a big hello to everyone. It's Sergey with you on Assistance TV channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you about 10 interesting DIY projects for fishing. Everything will be simple and quick, as you like. A very common problem with these telescopic fishing rods is the loss of the rear cap. So we always end up losing the joint, which makes it uncomfortable. So guys, this is what it's like when fishing. This problem can be easily solved using a regular plastic bottle. All we need to do is cut the neck of the bottle before it expands. The narrower your bottle is at the neck, the better it will be. Now we need to put this neck on, and we can secure it to the rod in two ways. The first method is a gas burner, but you can quickly and easily overheat the neck, and it will melt. The second method is a construction heat gun, and that's what I'll be using to heat it up. If you're going to use a gas burner, be careful. Even the slightest overheating and your bottle will melt right away. As you can see, it's looking great. We managed to solve this problem. I hope you'll give a like and share your thoughts on this in the comments. You can twist the cap off just like that to get the joint out. Do something with it. Some kind of manipulation if you need to, and then just screw everything back on. This is what it looks like when it's ready. No, that's pretty cool, right? Look, good... Friends, did you know that you can make more than 10 interesting DIY projects from a regular pin? Right now I'm going to tell you about one of them. This is going to be very effective, guys. A feeder with hooks to you. Honestly, you're going to like it. I would even call this tackle clever, because it really is clever. Guys, with a pin, they hold a little bread, a fish swims up and sucks up the bread, and our hooks are just like that. It's very effective. Honestly, for this DIY project, we will need some kind of weight. In this case, I have a sinker that weighs 10 grams, like this, and a pin. You can take an ordinary pin. Here it is. It will also be effective, but I found this wonderful huge pin in my arsenal. I don't know what it's made of, like some kind of decorative jewelry piece. That's exactly what we're going to use to make this DIY project today. First of all, we tie a small piece of braided line to our sinker, or fishing line. This will be our weight, guys. We thread it in here. I see not with knots, but rather, guys, using the loop-to-loop method. It holds much stronger that way. Now we need a piece of thick fishing line on one end. We also made a loop to attach to our main line. And here we simply take it and tie it. And now our task is to take just two short leads like these little ones and attach them. Also using the loop-to-loop method from both sides, one here on the ring. Right here behind this clip, if anyone didn't understand something, feel free to ask in the comments. I can always give you a tip. Look, my friends, let me show you what I mean. Here's our tackle, and here's a piece of bread. It's wonderful. We open our safety pin, take the bread, and place it right here. This piece is already cut, and it fits perfectly into our safety pin. It sits tightly, and underwater, it will dissolve slowly and smoothly. It will fall like this, and everything will be great. We take our hook, stick it in here once, then the second hook, stick it in just from the other side. Cram. And this is how it looks. We have created an excellent rig, a great rig that casts far thanks to this weight. And the fish swims up, sucks in our bread and pulls in the hooks. Like a nipple type, like a bait holder. But you can attach a nice piece of bread like this right away. Guys, I want to remind you that we choose most of our camping and fishing gear using the e-catalog. Now I'll show you how quickly and easily this works. We go to the e-catalog, select the appropriate section, in this case tourism and fishing, and do an advanced search. We set all the product characteristics that we need and choose the product that we like. We can look at its photos, check the detailed specifications, descriptions, and reviews. But the most important thing is that we can compare prices in different online stores. That's great. And what I like most is that you can compare products with each other and see what their differences are in terms of specifications and price, and choose the store that's best for you with the lowest price. Friends, the link to the e-catalog will be in the description under this video. Who hasn't used it yet? Go ahead, give it a try. I really recommend it to you. Very often when fishing with a float rod, we can forget it at home. Reel to come to fishing. Guys, with a bare rod, to be honest, that has happened to me. If not, of course, we have coils here. Or there are whip rods that simply don't have a reel holder. Now I'm going to show you how to make a reel in just a few seconds using an old-fashioned method right on your fishing rod. Right here. To make a reel, we only need a little piece of wire. We bend it like this. Oops! And at this point we can just bite it off right away. Now we bend it a little bit here like this. And we make the second hook. Because the principle is that we need to have two identical hooks, all we need to do is secure the two hooks. Like this now, my friend, opposite each other. This is how we will attach it. To the handle of our rod, of course. Using electrical tape, so that later you can remove the whole thing. If we don't need it, we wrap this up meticulously. We wrap it by hand carefully. Tighten it, friends. Next, it's simple. We measure a distance of about 20 to 30 centimeters and wrap the second loop here just like that. So this is the construction we've got. Now what we do is take our tackle and just wind it up. Right here on our reel, guys. Exactly. It should all look like this. It's easy and simple to make such a reel by hand. Right on your fishing rod. Friends, I don't know about you, but for me, it's like this. I really love fishing, but I absolutely hate cleaning the fish. But specifically for you, I made this life hack so that you would love cleaning fish. Here's a great homemade fish cleaner that you can use to clean fish. Guys, it's easy and simple, and it will save you, let's say, your money and your time. For this ancient DIY project, we will need some kind of branch. Ideally, it should be round so that we have a smooth cut. As I told you, in addition to that, a few metal caps. Well, that's basically it. We might also need a few screws or nails. First, we need to make a hole in our caps. Using a regular nail, we place it in the center and give it a little tap. Next, we just need to screw on our caps. As you can see, I slightly modified the hole because the plugs should be placed like this. If my handle were wider, everything would be fine. And so the hole had to be moved. Edges. Here's the fish cleaner we ended up with. It cleans fish really well indeed, guys. The next simple DIY will be made from a plastic bottle in the same way. Guys, I hope you like it. And I've caught fish with it multiple times. I've seen this kind of DIY project with people for grandpas who do everything by hand and can't afford expensive gear. And this DIY project will be relevant for you. Let's go. And with leftover part of the bottle, we can make a great feeder. We take something sharp and make two holes opposite each other, so that the second one comes out directly opposite it, guys, like this. And we also make two holes at the bottom. Now we need to attach some weight to the bottom. I found this old bearing, guys. This will serve as our weight. And now, using a tool, we just screw it in there. We've secured the weight. It's holding there firmly. Now we take a tube and place it. We heat one edge and melt it. Right here. Using a lighter, we heat one edge and slightly melt it. On the back side, we do the same operation. We thread main fishing line through edge of material. And the swivel is tied to the free end of the line, and we make a regular loop at the end. In order to connect our tackle to the main line at the top of the LCU, we thread a leash through it. All the leashes were looped onto the swivel. We have a sliding tackle. This is a very sensitive tackle. It came out very sensitive. and if desired, you can make 2 more holes. Here, for def leashes. That is, here we will see the slightest bite, since the tackle is a sliding flat one. And if we make some more blind leashes along the edges, then we will have the hook set itself. And that's it. Our homemade rig is ready. The hook will always be right here, and the fish will always be able to take it and suck on it. And we just pack the bait in there. That's it. This hook, being sliding, immediately transmits the bite. You can also make 2 holes for fixed rigs. I know you've always been interested in the topic of homemade floats. Now I'll show you how to make this wonderful float from a regular drinking straw in just a few minutes. To make a float from a straw, you can choose any straw you like. Bright yellow-green. Again, I want to make a white float. In my opinion, this type is the best. We cut it. Here, where our straw starts to bend. At the base. We cut it. And now our task is to take some foam, any kind, and divide it into small balls. And just stuff these balls into our float's body. Float. The more foam balls you can fit in, the greater the buoyancy of the float, guys. It's best, of course, to use these kinds of balls made from our foam. Now we will also use some paste, and we just need to make something like this on the wire. Here's the ring. We ended up with this little ring, and now our task is to simply screw it into our foam here. Like this. And it's just good to glue it at a short distance using any waterproof glue, guys. I don't recommend using super glue, because if you do, it can dissolve the foam. We're gluing it here. And our task is to glue all of this together. Here at the top, on both sides. The antenna on top, we're covering it with a bright pink color. We painted this part of the float with pink nail polish, and the lower part we will paint with a fluorescent green that glows in the dark. We ended up with this wonderful float in just a few minutes. Guys, that you can make with your own hands. Many of you, as you may already be aware, are aware that fishing glow sticks are typically sold in either green or blue. But often you want to put a glow stick of a different color on different fishing rods. Red, yellow, blue, orange, white, in the end, so that we can immediately tell which rod is getting a bite. Now I'm going to share a simple life hack with you, using which you can turn an ordinary green glow stick into a colored one. An ordinary glow stick, green. And straws, guys. Straws come in all sorts of colors. There are bright ones and there are dull ones. There are, guys, green, yellow, red. Let's say we want to make a glow stick, yellow, so that it can be seen from far away. We're cutting off the top of the straw. This is our glow stick fits in there very easily and doesn't fall out. A firefly with a diameter of 4 mm fits into the straw and will never simply fall out on its own. He will never fall out of there. If we break it now, it will glow yellow, not green. We take an ordinary rubber band, cut it, and make a knot in the middle. We tie the knot and simply attach our glow stick. There. We wrap it around again and on the other side make another knot. Here's the finished setup we have, even if we want to thread our glow stick onto such a thick base. With such a fat guy, we take the front ring, spread our knot, thread our rubber band further, and our glow stick sits exactly where we need it. This is how it sits perfectly on the rod, and you can easily replace it or take it off. There's a saying, fisherman and hunter, train of worker. Who agrees with this? Feel free to write in the comments. Friends, right now I'm going to tell you how to make a simple closed type feeder from PVC pipe. It can be made in just a few minutes and costs very little. It's just a few cents. You can find this pipe anywhere. Guys, even anyone has this pipe lying. So, we don't need this feeder for feeding while fishing with a feeder. We want to catch fish off the bottom to not stir up the feeder, and the bait settles on the bottom. That's why it's completely closed. Without holes. Let's go, guys. You can make absolutely any feeder from the right pipe. Whichever you need, you can make it with holes or without. But in this case, I will be making it, of course, without holes, as I mentioned. We just simply take it and trim down the length we need for our feeder. Almost everything is ready. We just need to clean up the edges a bit. After we've made the hole, we take a swivel with a snap. This is what it looks like, everyone knows. And we simply thread it through for our feeder. And we ultimately end up with the cheapest closed type feeder. Very often, when we're fishing for pike with floats and we get a bite, we swim up to it and can't figure it out. Is the pike spinning or not? Because there's just a white stripe, and the float seems to be standing still. That's why I recommend you take a permanent and indelible marker and draw some stripes here. It's not complicated. We just take and divide the circle in half with our marker. We can make 2 triangles like this. And we just color in these triangles in the middle. Black color. I've completely colored in the float. This is how it is now. If there's a bite, you'll see how it pulls in. Will can see it from a distance. When we swim up to the float, we'll see all of this. You might ask why manufacturers don't just do it this way, and instead just stamp out ready-made white circles. It's much easier for them. Can you imagine the sales volume? These floats, hundreds of thousands. If people were manually adding details like that, it would cost a lot more. More expensive, guys. That's why I'm showing you DIY projects where we improve some existing tackle, and for some, we create them from scratch together. Well, friends, my subscribers and just viewers, here's a collection of DIY projects I've put together. If you liked it, write in the comments if you didn't like it. Also, write to me. Send me your DIY projects, friends, and I will publish them in the next collections with a mention of the author. May you always have a good catch, guys. Take care of nature, clean up after yourselves, and I wish you all the best. Tight lines.